Hey everyone, Shauna here. So hopefully if this is working out right and I'm able to post this on the day I want to and you're watching this on the day I posted, today is August 2nd, 2013, and today is a very important day for me because today is the 10-year anniversary of me being a vegetarian. Woo! Woo! That's something that's really exciting for me because my decision to become a vegetarian when I was 13, I'll tell you guys about it, but it wasn't like a very spur of the moment decision, and the fact that I've stuck with it for 10 years is a really big deal for me. So I'm going to tell you guys kind of the story of how I became a vegetarian and kind of just a little bit of background to my life. So when I was younger, I was always just like, I ate meat like a normal kid would. Being a vegetarian was never something that came into my mind. My mom, I thought she was a vegetarian, but it turns out she wasn't. She just didn't eat a lot of meat, but she ate it like once in a while. But like my dad and I ate meat, and I don't have any siblings, but it was like my dad and I ate meat, my mom ate it once in a while. Like, it was, vegetarianism was not a thing that was ever even something I considered. And then when I was 11, my parents split up, my dad moved out, it was just me and my mom. And my mom like wasn't eating very much meat, and I still was. And I was like, that's weird, like she was cooking 2 separate meals for us. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why do I not eat like she does? But it wasn't, I still didn't like clue in like, maybe you should stop eating meat. Like, it's, anyway. And then when I was 13, the summer of 2003, I went to a summer camp, and one of the girls in my cabin was a vegetarian, and like everyone who I knew before that who was vegetarian was like an adult. I'd never met anyone my age that I like really knew who was vegetarian, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And like the way this camp was set up is that the vegetarians had to go like inside the kitchen to get their food, and I just thought it was so cool. It was like an elite like private club, like you get to go into the kitchen to get your food. Like, whoa. So like I don't even remember thinking about like, maybe I was at this camp for 2 weeks and there was no point where I was like, maybe I'll be vegetarian, maybe I'll stop eating meat. I don't really remember having those thoughts. Oh, this was 10 years ago. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, so it doesn't surprise me that I don't remember that. But I don't remember having those thoughts. I just remember like my mom picked me up at the end of camp, and I was like, I distinctly remember this because I was eating a beef fajita as I said, Mom, I think I want to be a vegetarian. And she was like, you have a really good start there, bud, as I'm eating a beef fajita. But it was, you know, I was still at camp, so you understand. And like honestly, this was like it was August 2nd, beginning of August. I thought it would last, vegetarian would last like the rest of the summer, and then school would start. I was starting grade 8, school would start, and I'd be like, well, that was a fun thing, guess that's over. And like I've talked to my mom, and she didn't think it would last, but it was just like school started, and I was like, yeah, I'm a vegetarian. And it was like the cool, like people were like, oh, that's like, why? Because no one in my class was a vegetarian. No one's parents were vegetarians. It wasn't a big thing back then. So I was like, yeah, like I'm a vegetarian. I'm the cool one here. And then I just kind of stuck with it. And I went to camp the next summer and like was a vegetarian. And it was a little bit hard at one of the other camps I went to, but it wasn't a big deal. And then I just stuck with it. And like when I stopped eating meat, my mom also gave up meat completely. Like I said, she wasn't a big meat eater, but she was like, well, if you're not gonna eat it, I'm not gonna eat it. So then for like grade 8 and all of high school, it was just me and my mom. Neither of us ate meat, so she didn't buy any meat. So there was never, we eat fish, which is like debatable. Like some people say I'm not actually a vegetarian, but whatever. But like red meat, poultry, any of that, there was never any of it in our house. So like 9 times out of 10, it wasn't even an option for me to eat. And like if I was going to someone else's house, it was my friends who knew I was vegetarian, family who knew that me and my mom were vegetarian, or like out to a restaurant where I just ordered not meat. Like it was so easy to not eat meat, which I know isn't the case for a lot of people, but I was fortunate that with me and my mom both being non-meat eaters, it was very easy for us to continue. So I did that until the end of high school, because like, why not? And then I started university, and I was in res, and I was like, well, like it's been 5 years at this point, why am I gonna stop? And the 2 years that I lived in res, I had to eat at meal hall, were really difficult because they said that the dining hall was vegetarian friendly, but it was not. And that was a struggle a lot for me. But now that I live on my own and cook my own food, I'm like, well, I just don't buy meat. I don't cook meat. Like that's not a difficult thing to do. And yeah, so now it's been 10 years, and like I'm so proud of myself for having made it, because I rarely stick with any decision that I make ever. Like I'm very like, I change my clothes 4 times a day because I just can't decide. Like I do not stick with decisions very much. And the fact that it's been like 10 years and like there's never been a time where like, yeah, I'm done with this, and like given up even for like a week. Like there hasn't even been a week where I'm like, oh, I'm done with vegetarianism, and then I go back to it. Like sometimes I crave meat because that's just like the way it is. Like anyone who stops eating a certain anything craves it once in a while. Like we all get like that, you understand. But like it's never been something where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I genuinely enjoy being a vegetarian, and I like the food that I eat, and I don't actually miss meat that much, which is weird because most people who are vegetarian are either like animal activists who are like, oh, it's bad to eat meat, which is like, if that's the way you think, that's the way you think. Or there are people who just don't like the taste of meat. So like, why am I going to eat it if I don't like it? I don't fit into either of those groups, but I've been a vegetarian for 10 years, so go figure. Anyway, I gotta skedaddle because I gotta get back to work. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Hey, I'm back. Sorry to cut that so short, but there were campers coming and you understand. Anyway, vegetarian, 10 years. Really proud of myself. Let me know down in the comments anything that you've stuck with for a long period of time, or like something 10 years ago that you're like, oh yeah, that. Or just, I don't know, tell me stories. I like when you guys tell me stories in the comments. Anyway, if you want to give this video a thumbs up for me making a good life choice 10 years ago, or just for anything, that'd be awesome. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next time I post a video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.